Every so often, I find myself going to the opticians and being a little bit worried about the fact that my glasses need to be replaced yet again. And you walk out of the opticians with yet another pair of spectacles. I think at the moment I've got three, and and every so often they try and palm me off with one of these varifocal things, which makes me feel I want to vomit. So I'm resigned to the fact that I go to the opticians and my eyesight seems to have deteriorated. But it's not the opticians that does that. It's me that does that. The opticians just monitor it. And this is the same sort of thing that's going on with Trump at the moment. There's a huge effort to try to salvage reputation. There's a race against the clock with Denmark and Greenland and the court case, simply to ensure that the optics of the inauguration day are favourable. It's like something out of ancient Rome and cutting open a chicken or something to see what the auguries might foretell. And it's an unprecedented modern political drama where courtrooms and global politics collide in a whirlwind of legal manoeuvring, Arctic ambitions, looming inauguration, and President-elect Donald Trump, or President, I'm not quite sure, because America still refers to a previous president as president. So he's not just president-elect, he's also president. President-elect President Donald Trump is racing against the clock to salvage his optics before being sworn into office. So despite repeated attempts by Trump's legal team to pause his sentencing in the Manhattan hush money trial, Judge Juan Merkin has steadfastly refused to delay the proceedings, and Trump was convicted on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. It's a verdict that casts a long shadow over his impending presidency and could, in theory, produce a prison sentence. That would be extraordinary, and I think it would place the country in an impossible position, a very interesting position, but an impossible one. And Trump argues that sentencing a president-elect undermines federal government and violates the supremacy clause. Yet the court remains unconvinced, citing public interest in the finality of criminal proceedings. And while incarceration is unlikely, the optics of even a symbolic sentence, an unconditional discharge or a hefty fine, loom large over the inauguration itself. And while the legal drama unfolds in New York, Trump's eldest son, Donald Jr., is staging what can only be described as an ill-timed Arctic adventure. Landing in Greenland with pro-Trump activist Charlie Kirk in tow, the visit is shrouded in ambiguity. Officially, it's a private tourist jaunt, but unofficially, it reignites Trump's dream of acquiring Greenland. And Greenlandic Prime Minister Mette Egende, already grappling with colonial grievances against Denmark, has shown little interest in American overtures. This comes as Greenland accelerates its push for independence. Independence means independence, not moving from one dependency to another. Spurred by scandals like the forced contraceptive investigations of the mid-20th century, and the Danish monarchy, too, has weighed in, with King Frederick's redesign of the royal coat of arms to prominently feature Greenland. It sends a clear message: the Arctic is not for sale. The Trump administration's Arctic ambitions highlight the delicate balance between Denmark, Greenland, and the United States. And Greenland is rich in untapped resources, but remains economically dependent on Denmark, like the Faroe Islands. And Trump's revival of a Make Greenland Great Again narrative risks further straining Denmark-Greenland relations, which are already fraught over accusations of genocide and colonial exploitation. King Frederick's symbolic gestures reflect Denmark's commitment to preserving unity of the kingdom, but they also underscore global anxieties. And by sidelining the historic Kalmar Union crowns in favour of the Arctic imagery, the Danish monarchy has taken a bold stance against both Greenlandic independence and American acquisition fantasies. For Trump, this week is not just about navigating legal quagmires or Arctic aspirations, it's about controlling the narrative. And if Greenland is a narrative that hogs the headlines more than the Stormy Daniels story, well, I'm sure that would be something that would make Trump very happy. The court's refusal to delay sentencing underscores Trump's vulnerability, while Greenland is simply an ill-advised distraction. Trump's repeated delays in his various legal cases have kept him afloat thus far, but his sentencing lands just before the inauguration, creating a spectacle he cannot control. And the optics of Donald Jr. gallivanting in Greenland while his father faces sentencing will not inspire confidence. And meanwhile, the Danish government and monarchy project unity and resilience, sending a not-so-subtle rebuke to the incoming US administration. So as Friday approaches, Trump's team faces a monumental challenge, reframing a week of setbacks into a narrative of resilience. And whether through legal theatrics, bold Arctic rhetoric, or sheer defiance, the president-elect president must convince his base and the world that he remains unshaken. And in this chaotic blend of courtrooms, polar bears, and global politics, one truth emerges. This is not just a race to inauguration, but a battle for credibility in an increasingly fractured political landscape.